Cooking at the Vault. I'm Ruthie Rogers, and today I'm going to be making a delicious brunch in 3 different parts, starting with mimosas. And I am ready for one, so I'm going to ask my guest for today, Andrea Tuttle, to join me.
Hello.
Andrea also works here at the Book Vault with us, and she loves to cook as much as I do. She's maybe cooks a little more healthy, but she's going to help me out today, and I think our menu out of the Brunch Cookbook by Gail Gand is going to fit into a little bit of the healthiness. So we're going to start out with mimosas with champagne, some baked egg and ham cups, and go over to a decadent almond-covered French toast.
Yes, I love French toast, so I'm excited.
So it should be really good. So stay with us, and we'll be right back with mimosas on Cooking at the Vault. Welcome back to Cooking at the Vault. I'm Ruthie Rogers, and today my guest is Andrea Tuttle. We are going to make a delicious brunch for you today, starting with mimosas.
Yay!
Very easy. You take champagne, or you can use Prosecco, which is an Italian champagne. It's a little bit sweeter. Sometimes it's hard to find, but this good old champagne Brut, I like the tartness of the Brut. Very easy. And you're going to add orange juice. Doesn't have to be in any certain measurements.
Do you make them often, Ruthie?
If I'm having a brunch or like Thanksgiving morning, Christmas morning, I like to have them. They're good for tailgating. Of course, at those Iowa
Those
Hawkeye
early
games.
morning
That's
Hawkeye
right.
games.
You can also make bellinis, which is peach juice and
I've never had those.
The Prosecco or the mimosa or the champagne. So very easy. We will be making the rest of the brunch, but we're going to start with our mimosas. So thanks for joining me. We're going to have a great time, and when we come back, I'm going to make some baked ham and egg cups here on Cooking at the Vault. Welcome back to Cooking at the Vault. I'm Ruthie Rogers, and I've got my guest Andrea Tuttle here with me today. We are going on to the second part of our brunch using the cookbook Brunch by Gail Gand. We are now going to be making baked eggs and ham cups.
Yay.
These are very simple. They look very fancy, I think. You know, it could be something you serve for a fancy brunch or even just a breakfast, you know, a nice, trying to impress guests when you have them. So
Sure.
If you'll hand me the cooking oil, we're going to start by spraying the pans with cooking oil.
Now, does the recipe call to spray, or does it ask for
The
butter?
recipe actually asks for butter. Butter just adds more calories, tends to burn faster than the oil, and it just adds more oil than you really need. I don't know, not oil, I guess.
Especially
makes
with
it
the cheese in
greasier.
there, too.
And the ham is juicy. You're going to start by folding the ham like into quarters and setting it down inside there, and it just kind of falls open and kind of flours. Kind of play with it and make it how you want it.
Does it matter how thick the meat is?
No, I think the main thing is to try and get as big around a piece as you can, so it makes the cup a little bit bigger.
Have you made this recipe before? Variations of it?
Yeah, you can, using the pestos in it, I think you could use a variation of the different pestos. You know, the sun-dried tomato pesto would be good. Pestos are just fun themselves to make if you like different herbs and cheeses and nuts, and then the olive oil, and that's basically what most pestos are made of,
Yeah.
and you just kind of variety that. And the cheese, you could use different cheeses, you could use different, you know, you could even add a little bit of bacon if you wanted to.
Mushrooms?
And yeah, mushrooms would be awesome in it. So you're like me, you like to take a recipe and kind of play with it and change it all up.
I might add some spinach in there too. That'd be really good.
That would be very good. Okay, next it says to add 2 large eggs to each cup. I found that 2 eggs didn't fit, so I kind of adjusted it with 1. And you can crack the egg in it separately or just plop it in.
Do you think it would work just as well if you scrambled the eggs beforehand?
I think it would, but you wouldn't get the look
Right.
that maybe
So
it's looking for.
That's more for an appearance than
I think
the
so.
cooking
Kind of
of it.
looks pretty with it. So
They do
you've got
look
your
pretty.
egg. And if you'll grab me a spoon, I
Sure.
will spoon the pesto in.
Did you make the pesto yourself?
I didn't. I have made it before, but this is ready-made and you get it at the grocery store. You just want to kind of tuck the pesto in there, or you can put the pesto on the bottom. I kind of like to just kind of tuck everything around it because then you get a little bit of the taste with each bite instead of having stuff clear on the bottom and then
Yeah.
you don't get to it till it's on the bottom. So, got your pesto.
When you make your pesto, do you use your own herbs?
Yes.
Do you have your own garden
I
at
do
home?
grow some herbs in the little individual pots. Then this is mozzarella cheese that you've cubed. Just kind of place it however you want. And boy, these eggs, see how they're overflowing already?
I don't know how they would have fit 2 in there. Looks good already, minus the raw egg.
And then it calls for grape tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, and you just want to have those and place those in there as well. Whoops. Looking really full, isn't it?
Luckily, it's going to sink down once it's cooked.
Okay.
Ready for the oven,
Those are
or
assembled. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper.
are you using sea salt or regular salt?
I use kosher salt, sea salt. I just like the taste of it better. And then, of course, the ground black pepper.
And you're cooking this at what temperature?
I'm cooking it at 375 because you want the edges of the ham to get crispy and, you know, kind of brown a little bit, but you want it to where the yolk of the egg kind of stays looking not fully
Fluffy.
cooked. Yeah, you want it fluffy. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and it's going to bake for 15 to 20 minutes or until it looks like it's getting done. Okay, the eggs are in the oven. Okay, weren't those some great healthy living recipes from Hy-Vee?
Yes, I'm excited.
I am ready to now get started on our almond ciabatta French toast.
Yay.
This recipe recommends that you use ciabatta bread. I've got 4 slices of that here. The rest of it consists of 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. You've got 1/4 cup of heavy cream. So that's what is in here. You've got 3 eggs. We're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of almond flavoring and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla.
And both of those are sold at the Book Vault.
Yes, we do. They're wonderful, all natural. The vanilla is Madagascar. So we're just going to add everything together. The eggs into the cream and the milk.
Why does it call for ciabatta bread for this recipe? Is it the flavor of the
I
bread?
think it's the flavor and the density of the bread. 1/4 cup of that.
You could
I
add
love ciabatta bread though.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
you could add other flavorings too, don't you? Couldn't you?
Yeah, I think you could do anything you wanted to just to kind of get it to the taste that you want.
See, I'm used to adding cinnamon to my French toast.
Cinnamon would be very
I
good.
pile on the cinnamon.
So we're just going to whip this together. Break your eggs up. I know a lot of people, when they make their French toast, they beat a couple of eggs and throw the bread into it and throw it on the griddle. Why don't you go ahead and start the pan.
Sure.
We'll get it hot, put a little bit of the cooking oil in it, just a little bit.
What temperature does it need to be on?
I would leave it on high to get it heated up, and then we put it about onto medium. Then you're going to pour this into a plate or a pie pan. And it says to soak the bread on each side for about 3 minutes. But I think the ciabatta bread is coarse, and I mean it's
porous enough.
It's porous enough that I think it's going to suck things up and get the moisture into it like it calls for.
Sure. Could you even pour the remaining on top of that?
You could, and then you wouldn't have to let it soak on each side for quite as long. Let's see how it already gets down into all the air pockets.
Looks good already.
So then you're going to take your almonds and you want to put them in the pan, kind of in the shape of your different breads. Or you could just kind of coat the whole bottom of the pan and it would maybe even go up the sides of the bread. I love almonds, so the more the better.
Now, are those unsalted? Are they?
These are raw. They're raw.
Okay.
Sliced almonds, because they're going to cook. I think if you used some that were already cooked, they would burn.
Right, they would have a burnt flavor.
Yeah.
Rather.
So by doing this, I think it's going to just toast them up and get them to the flavor that you want.
It's my favorite sound.
Oh, I know. Doesn't that sound good?
Now, are we still keeping it on high?
I would probably turn it down to medium high. I mean, it's got to cook through the almonds.
The almonds. This is going to taste amazing with those ham cups.
It is so good. And it makes such a pretty presentation with the two together.
I've actually never seen French toast prepared with almonds covered on them, cooked into it.
I haven't either. So I think it's a neat presentation. I know I love almonds. They're one of my favorite nuts. They're also very good for you. So those are going to cook. You don't put the almonds on both sides. So while these were cooking and you wanted to prepare some more, just have some more bread and have it soaking.
And drink some more mimosas.
And drink some more mimosas, of course. I'm going to check the eggs and just see how they're doing in here. Oh, they're looking really good.
They smell really good.
They're looking really good. All right, let's just kind of take a peek and see what they're doing. I think they've got a ways to go yet. Maybe turn that back up. So what kind of things do you like to cook for breakfast?
I have actually been eating eggs for the last 365 days, every morning. So this might bring some new excitement to my menu if I were to make
something a little bit different.
Yeah, but usually eggs. I have eggs every morning, so.
Gotta have that protein. Oh, they're smelling really good.
Yes,
can you smell the almonds?
Yes, I can.
Oh, it's still getting there.
It was a pretty thick. Like you said before, usually people just use milk, and so these are probably going to take a lot longer than most French toast.
Plus, it's a thicker bread.
Right.
And it's cooking through the almonds. You don't want it to burn, that's for sure.
Now, would you consider using like some kind of berry also on top of this, like a strawberry marmalade?
I think you could put that on top. Look how good that looks.
Yeah, it does. Looks great. Looks better than the picture.
My favorite is to add the maple syrup. I love the 100% pure maple syrup.
Yes, and we have that right at Hy-Vee, I think.
That is Hy-Vee's brand, and it's actually one of my favorites.
Yep, it's 100% natural, which is great.
Okay, we'll give those a couple minutes just to cook on that side. Okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and plate those up, and I'm going to get our eggs and see how this all goes together.
This should be interesting.
How do these look?
Oh my goodness, those look great. I'm so excited.
See, I don't know how it would do it with 2 eggs in there. The one egg just
that would just make a mess.
Really good.
Oh, look at that. Yum.
How good does that all look? Okay, that's our almond ciabatta French toast. And now that we've done with the meal, let's go back and recap what we did today. refreshing mimosas. You're going to need champagne and pulpless orange juice. Then you just fill half the cup with champagne, top it off with orange juice, and enjoy. Hot and hearty baked ham and egg cups. You'll need sliced ham, cubed cheese, grape tomatoes, pesto, and eggs. First, form the ham into cups, then drop an egg or two in each cup. Add the pesto, the cheese cubes, and the grape tomatoes. Finish by seasoning the dish with salt and pepper. Put it in the oven for 15 minutes and then eat to your heart's desire. Decadent almond-covered French toast. For this dish, you'll need milk, 3 eggs, a loaf of ciabatta bread, vanilla and almond flavorings, maple syrup, and sliced almonds. Next, add the eggs to the milk, then add the almond and vanilla flavoring as well. Now you're going to whisk all the ingredients until they're smooth, then pour the mixture onto a serving dish and soak each piece thoroughly on both sides in the liquid. Next, sprinkle the almonds across the bottom of the hot pan. Lay the soaked bread right over the almonds and allow to cook thoroughly. Then plate and serve. Welcome back to Cooking at the Vault. I'm Ruthie Rogers, and as you can see, we've moved from the kitchen to the table, and we are going to enjoy this wonderful brunch that we've just prepared. I would like to thank my guest today, Andrea Tuttle, for joining me and helping me, and I would like to thank you for joining us here at Cooking at the Vault. Happy cooking.
Thank you. Cheers.
For today's menu card, as well as clips for upcoming episodes, go to the MCG website at www.mahaska.org, and for more healthy living recipes, go to Hy-Vee's website at www.hyvee.com.